Ah, yes. Another day, another vintage collection. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back today. Today we're going to do some auditing. We got some strange things going on around here. We got some old cards coming through, and we're going to kind of see what's going on around here. Oh, that one went completely off camera. Sorry about that. And so, first things first, Rudy. I'd like to briefly share Uncle Rudy, my experience with the connection of magic. Growing up as an only child, you learn quickly to use your imagination to entertain and preoccupy your time. As a young boy growing up in the 90s, I was fascinated with comics, video games, action figures, anime, and any type of fantasy, sci-fi adventure get my hands on. Ain't that the truth? Discovered magic at 8 years old when I was walking through a bookstore with my mom. As soon as I spotted the cool-looking end cap near the back of the store, I was immediately taken away to another world with dragons and demons and heroes and heroines and goblins and swords and magicians. Cracking that first pack and smelling that ink and cardboard, baby. Oh yeah, I was hooked. It's like the first time you taste that taco. And we're not talking about Taco Bell. I originally started collecting cards in a way to discover and piece together a story. Each card told a story, had its own personality. Each caption at the bottom of the card helped me to frame a world I had never known before. An art that would put a face to the names and set the tone for each set or story I would collect. See, I'm going to stop right there. Like, I wish I could comprehend and explain to everybody the importance of these feelings on what it means these old things mean to people. I'm telling you all. I just want to jump to the end here. If you guys want to read the rest, I'll let you freeze it there and you can read it. But what we have here, the remnants of my childhood and nostalgia that it carried with it. From the hot and sweaty long walks in the summer to the local card shop, to the countless hours of thumbing through cards, and even sometimes questionable and regrettable trades and sales of my collection over many years. All these experiences have taught me something or helped to shape the person I am today. The cards, yeah, I've spent a small fortune on them, but the memories are truly priceless. Who would have thought that cardboard could have that much of a grasp and influence on a person? Must really be some sort of magic. Dude, that is an epic story, man. And that is the most honest, truthful thing in 2020 that I just wish more people would understand of what this old stuff and the history and story of these things represent. So a couple little fun things. We got little empty boxes here, especially the collector's edition boxes. I always need these because when I get collector's edition sets many times, I don't have the boxes for them. So this is kind of an important thing for me. They're tough to find. They don't really have a ton of value or anything, but they're just things that I do actually need. So over here, we got ourselves some collector's edition cards. Don't freak out. Nothing too crazy over here. I know most people already thumbed it down because I threw these old cards and Rudy's disrespectful, and I know. So first thing, we have all collector's edition cards. The best thing about it is, first of all, I don't recommend grading collector's edition cards. But I have to admit, if you try to grade them, you will learn very quickly that getting a perfect 10 in a collector's edition card is flipping almost impossible. It is so difficult because of those pointy, Rudy corners. Those pointy corners and the sensitivity of that gold and everything is just ridiculous. Quick comment on the old Tolarian Academy where Rudy went to elementary school. I've said it for 4 years in this channel. Reserve list Urza saga cards have got to be some of the most underpriced, underpriced cards in 2020. And obviously the market's starting to wake up and go, wait a minute, how much is Gilded Drake? Wait a minute, how much is the Cradle? People are starting to wake up and they're like, oh my God, it's so expensive. Please, are you kidding me? Do you know what year this is? It's so expensive. This is 1998. Like, it's 22 years old. What do you expect to happen? Why does everybody want everything to be free in this world? I don't get it. It's called a collectible card game. Blows my mind. All right, so we do have two little, we got a nice little Taiga here and a nice little Mock Sapphire. We got some serial number things in the back, which means this gentleman must have purchased them years ago in an actual store, and these must have been like some sort of inventory numbers. Very nice, actually, very nice true near mint there. Nice crisp, no gold wear or anything. Unfortunately, I don't think the Lotus can be, the Lotus, I believe, is actually not minty at all. This one is, by the way, I'm not a fan of these. They're kind of risky if you ship in them and this thing comes loose or anything, for the record, because there's no actual screw down. It's just a magnet. It's a very popular case back in the 90s. A lot of people in stores used to use these things, especially in the sports card world. So we have ourselves a collector's or international. We have our collector's edition. And again, this is just a collector's edition Black Lotus that has seen some definite play. Now remember, authentic wear on these cards, you can tell because the gold literally comes off. and that's why it's so difficult to grade. It just literally wears off from the slightest touch. Oils on your hands discolor it. Look at the edging. You can see that. So that is actual authentic wear. Now the front usually ends up looking a little better because it actually holds up better from the black versus the gold. The gold really just gives it away. They just don't hold up good. It's always been that way, which is why, again, a lot of people use these as candidates for, rebacking cards because the backs suck and the fronts look beautiful. So, all right, so next we're going to jump over here to two binders. Binder number 1 here. Let's take a look, ladies and gentlemen, and let's have some fun, shall we? So we got ourselves, I have to admit, this the Four company, I don't know anything about them or who they are, or they've never talked to them, but pretty nice binders. Pretty cool. Very nice. So obviously we have a massive value right here. No, I'm just kidding, everybody. Obviously, this was very common back in the day. I can definitely tell this truly was an old school collection from this gentleman, because what you don't realize is in the late 90s, ladies and gentlemen, collecting playsets of old revised cards was the thing. I know today everyone's going, Rudy, like the sleeves in the notebook is probably worth more than what I'm looking at right now. And that's true, but back then nobody knew that. Again, this binder is not super old, but I guarantee he's probably had these cards forever. And, it looks neat, but there's really no financial value to revise basic lands. I mean, I've seen the average store will usually sell these for maybe, a store will sell them for $4 for $1. I've seen a lot of LGSs locally. A lot of kids will like the old school revised lands, and they'll sell them $4 for $1. I've seen minty ones maybe $2 for $1. I've seen pack fresh cards maybe sell for $1 a piece if they're really expensive, but overall, there's just not a lot of value to that. Same thing when we go over here, ladies and gentlemen, we got ourselves another revised, then we go some Ice Age, we got some Fourth, and we got some Ice Age over here. The only thing I can say is if these were actually snow covered, that actually has more value, because I'm going to go ahead and drop in the middle of this video since no one's going to pay attention anyways. Pretty much next year we have a new Magic set coming out that's going to be based on a lot of snow covered things. A lot of different themes that's kind of wilderness, snow covered, and snow things are going to be a big thing for 2021. Yeah, but let's just pretend that's fake. So anyways, over here we actually have 4th edition, again, strip mines. They're worth a couple bucks, but again, the big money's in the black bordered original antiquities. We got City of Old, BRASS, not the ass, City of Brass. And that is, I believe, 5th edition reprint, looking from the distance here on the camera. Very cool card. City of Brass is very iconic. That is the reprinted artwork, definitely not the original artwork on there. Still looks pretty cool. I think they did a good job. Who did that? Tom? I think overall, I think that's pretty cool looking for City of Brass, but again, we're not looking at big money. Obviously, City of Brass, even in the 4th edition with the original artwork, is a couple bucks still, but the black bordered original Arabian Nights is where the big money is, where you get into the hundreds per card. And so, unfortunately, again, 95, 96 era cards have very little value. It sucks, but this is also a page that's it's gorgeous, it's nostalgic, and it's a little bitter. It's tough because I see this and I go, oh man, you got power plant, mine, you got tower, and it looks like you got a whole duplicate playset. So you've got 3 different layer. You got all 3 cards with looks like 8 of each one. So of course I believe it's 2 of each. Yeah, 2 of each. So well, almost. Some of these are same, just a little out of order, but. Unfortunately, these are Chronicle white border reprints. I deal with this a lot when people contact me and collections show up at the store. A lot of people, unfortunately, it leads to sometimes, this gentleman was very nice. We didn't have any problems on this deal, but I see this a lot where people, they quote me saying they want X amount of dollars because they go by antiquities, buy list, or antiquity pricing. And then when I break the news that, bro, unfortunately, you got white bordered Chronicles reprints, you're looking at literally like 5-10 cents on the dollar compared to the original antiquities cards. That sucks. These are always tough conversations to have. And unfortunately, most of you watching this video and those of you interested in this kind of extreme, deep rabbit hole of my life of cardboard, this is my entire life of this stuff. And it's important to learn this and understand so you don't overpay or miscalculate what you actually own and the value. So it's very important. And most people, unfortunately, this is what most people recognize. Very few people actually dealt with the original black bordered antiquity Tron lands. These white bordered Tron lands were what most people are familiar with in this world. Kind of is what it is. So we got a few extras over here. Unfortunately, like I said, if these were black bordered, I'd be paying them, some of these would be almost $10 a piece. Even buy list, Rudy's price of buying if they were original black bordered. It's crazy. But unfortunately, white border Chronicles, I mean, some buy lists are literally like 5 cents, some are a quarter, some are 30, 40 cents. It's brutal, man. But it's Chronicles. It is what it is. So same thing over here. Unfortunately, this is not Arabian Nights. Mr. Elephant over here is sorry, let me try. Mr. Elephant, unfortunately, if this was Arabian Nights, even the sword is kind of stretched a little differently. It would have some value, but Chronicle white bordered has literally no value. Obviously, I know everyone's probably going, "Hey, Rudy, you got yourself a Crusade. Whoa, it's a banned evil card." Apparently it is. Apparently that is a super banned, I don't know, racist sensitivity. I don't know whatever's going on in the world in 2020, but apparently that is an outlawed card now. I guess because it just says white creatures or all creatures. I'm not really sure, because aren't there cards that are all red, blue, black, green? I don't know. I don't get it. But anyways, apparently this has gone up in value recently. The Armageddon and Wrath of God are pretty similar. You got creature destruction, land destruction. But obviously, apparently, Crusade is where it's at nowadays because of all the headlines in the world, and apparently that's where the money's headed. So whatever. Swords to Plow down here. Obviously, there's a lot of people that are really big on this Ice Age artwork. Unfortunately, not much financial value. Over here, not really too much going on. Probably the coolest thing is we do have a revised Tudor over here, which isn't uncommon. There's a lot out there, but still, nice $20 bill right there. You get some 4th edition, beautiful rares. Unfortunately, very little value because it's 4th edition. Nice Royal Assassins, looks like some 4th, and we got some 3rd edition revised. We got Chronicle, Rudy's ex-girlfriend looking here. We got Greed. We got, again, 4th edition. We got the Maggot Man from Chronicles. We got all Chronicle white border reprints. We got Ice Age, very little value. And, of course, we got this bizarre-looking thing. I guess I'll share with everybody. I saw this in this dude's collection. Kind of wacky, man. This is some sort of misprint, bizarre Mirage card. So, yeah, this is, that's kind of crazy, huh? I gotta admit, talk about a weird, I guess it was missing ink. That's actually the real deal, too. I thought it was sun bleached or something weird at first, but apparently, yeah, I don't know what the deal is with that. So, anyway, so not really too much value there, except, I mean, that's kind of a cool. It's maybe some misprint collector. Obviously, this is the heavy-hitting page, ladies and gentlemen. We have Stone Calendar from the Dark. I really shouldn't bash that card. You know, I really should stop doing that, because I think about it, one day, it's reserveless, and the Dark is a set that requires... That's a whole nother video. The Dark is a really underappreciated, expensive boost. I mean, these boxes are $3,000 a box now. I wouldn't even consider selling one of my boxes for under $4 or $5 because I know the rarity and how much they're going to be worth one day. So, in the fact this is one of the best cards in the set, I think we should probably... Eventually, we're going to have to stop bashing Stone Calendar, because... I guess we'll take a quick look at it, everybody, but... The card, I know it's not some super top-tier reserveless card, but it's a very strange card. I mean, the fact all your spells, not creatures, not spells, all spells are become cheaper. It is a 5-drop, it's pricey. But that's there's not a lot of cards that are like that in old school, man. So, and again, it's colorless, can go in any color deck. It's very interesting. So, other news, again, you got revised, the rack, nothing. You got revised Soul Rings, those are always going to be a few bucks. Larry Nevin's disc, you got Fell Warstone, very important old school card, but it's a 4th edition reprint. Chronicles and the Old Altar, not blackboard Arabian, Antiquities. Whoop, almost knocked the camera over. Sorry about that. I can't believe I just slapped everybody. I apologize. Over here we got, again, these were blackboard original legends. It'd be different, but we got Mountain Yetis. I think it's more of a meme card. It's funny. No value. You got yourself the Blood Moon, 2nd version of Blood Moon ever made behind the original The Dark, which again... The Dark. The original, I'm telling you, The Dark is something that I feel like not many people are paying attention to. Lightning Bolts, and again, Chronicles. And I think that may be it for this particular binder. Yeah, that is it for this. So, very fun little collection. Nothing too dramatic today, but I thought it was a lot of fun to go through. So we got one other thing to look at before we're going to call it quits, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you guys are enjoying everything. Today, this is a little bit more newer stuff for a lot of people that asked me to cover more newer things. So, on this page, we got some Modern Horizon cards. I really don't buy newer cards, but the fact is, he threw them in. He got some money for them, but whatever. I usually don't buy these unless it's specifically in a collection with old stuff like you're seeing. Again, Force and Negation, some of these things, God knows where those things are going to be priced out. Those are gamble cards right now. Over here, this is interesting. These promo cards. We've talked about promos in the past, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know the long-term view of what some of these promos and weird things are going to be, because it's very difficult to predict pricing on unique promo cards like these. These Grand Prix, you know, F&M promos, full arts, player rewards, judge promos, blah, blah, blah promos. There's so many versions. But there's a lot of people. There's definitely a niche market that really is into promos. So down here, you got some Masters 25, you got some Rivals action, Yawgmoth, you got some with a Core 2015, just a few dollar cards. We got some common, uncommon, very infamous Alara era cards. I think some RTR over there. I'm sorry, I keep hitting the camera today. Same thing, we got Original Innistrad. We got, I think, those Modern Horizons, or I can't remember, Dark Ascension? I can't remember what that uncommon's from. Some very iconic playable cards, but again, nothing very high valued. Infamous Dominaria, that was a big thing back then, I tell you what. Nothing too crazy financially. Same thing, original OG Zendikar Vampire, been reprinted in, you know, Master sets and M13 sets and all that fun stuff. Nothing too crazy. Same thing, we got some Aether Revolt. Now, the old Bloodghast, this has been a very well played, well loved card, but again, reprinted in multiple sets. I don't see any future growth. That's going to be an insta sell for me, dump on the internet. Same thing over here. We got now this has been a big thing. We're going to go ahead and, as we get to the end here, I'm going to put this aside so we can talk about the old Force of Will over there in a minute. But overall, nothing dramatic over here. And are we? No, I was going to say that's not it. We should have a little bit. Okay, so we have a couple things to go over. We want to go over this Force of Will Therese thing, and then we want to go over these. I got some collector's edition cards. Unfortunately, as we talked about, they don't stay mint condition and they're easily damaged and played. So when you have these type of cards, unfortunately, they don't stay very nice. They get played and dinged up in the corner. They're very sensitive cards. They're very difficult to keep in minty, near minty kind of condition. So anyway, so not much in that, but again, a lot of people truly believe these collector edition cards are really underpriced long term. And I know the prices of these things have been moving quite a bit recently. This collection doesn't have any really expensive ones besides the few I showed at the beginning. It's not like a full set or anything like that. We got some basic uncommons. You got a nice lightning bolt, but again, these are not minty condition cards. These are definitely played, even in the sleeves. I mean, you got commons and uncommons. You got a rare. You got a little granite action here. You got some uncommons. You got the Aura Flame, and you got the Mr. Caveman over there. You got some Thicket. Yeah, there's an Elvish. He's a rare, and that's really about it. You got some little stuff, common, uncommon, some walls. A Terror, very iconic, and that's about it. But I wanted to, before we wrap the video up though, I did want to comment on this. There's a lot of speculation going on and everything going in the world, especially with this big cultural evolution we're going through when it comes to even cards like this, the Force of Will. The fact that Therese was known for the artwork on these specific cards from the original to the reprint versions, and knowing that she is phased out and she is part of the, she's gone, that's it. A lot of people are talking about hoarding these and investing in these, and it's not just Force of Will, because remember, Force of Will is not on the reserve list, but the fact the artwork is in theory now on the reserve list. I don't know. I can't fully get behind it because I know Wizards. They're still going to reprint things, make flashy variants. There's going to be all these different versions, and it really makes me uncomfortable to recommend or tell anyone to invest, hoard, or build good positions in these type of cards. The only version I really like, and I feel has a lot of potential here, and I hate to say is still going to be the OG Original Alliance version. That's really what I think it comes down to. If you're looking to kind of go into this kind of thing, these are great and all. Eternal Masters, the foil version, because again, there was no foil of the Original Alliances. But at the end of the day, you got to use caution. I know it's a big thing right now in 2020 with all this cultural stuff, but as far as long-term investing, a year from now, 5 years, 10 years from now, I just don't have the confidence that people are still going to care and be focused on, should I buy 100 of these copies from Eternal Masters? Because there will be more Force of Wills. There will be multiple versions, new artwork, extended art, variants, double masters, future masters. There's going to be lottery versions, secret lairs. And that alone makes me very nervous to tell you all. I know how much you either love the card, you're a fan of Therese, you like the art, whatever you are, that's your personal thing. But at the end of the day, you need to be careful in making investment decisions and stuff like that. I still think you're going to be better off. Really, if you're going to be going in that direction, I mean, come on. Should you really buy these for 100 a piece? Or should you buy, would you rather buy these for 100 something a piece? That's kind of, you really got to step back and think about that. Or would you rather buy 10 of these for 1,000 or buy a sealed box of alliances? So, hope you all learned something today. Thank you all for watching. Be safe as always. And remember, everything you see in these videos are not really for sale. And thanks for watching. Take care.